Yeah, what up, YouTube? It's your boy, another Zod back at you, y'all Savage. I've taken a couple of days off because I just wanted to, really pay attention to social media and, ask a lot of people questions when it came to this thing of immigration, which I try to avoid because it is one of those subjects that's kind of sensitive. You say the wrong thing, people can't take it, they get mad, and, you're on a whole different trip. But I'm gonna go ahead and cover this topic and exactly what Trump is doing right now and how people are only championing his cause. But before I even get into that, free Banju Bantan, Panama, Jamaica, stand up. To liberal Kansas, salute for supporting the channel. To the homies from Arizona for supporting the channel, salute. To G Lou, he got an interview coming, I think next Wednesday or something. I'll check the info, but basically it's an interview with Freeway Rick Ross, the real Rick Ross. And I think you like that interview. And plus, G Lou is one of those solid dudes that he's solid. You know what I mean? So I'll just go ahead and throw that out there. Oh, and Tosh, I think 600-700, he will be having a new song coming out, so I will be showing his music on the channel. I think you'll like it. This shit has always been hot. But anyways, yeah, I want to jump into about Trump. See, like the last interview that he did, well, when he did that whole news thing, and he was talking about, building the wall. And a lot of people tend to get triggered when they hear that wall. But let's be honest, the wall has never stopped anybody from coming over anyway. See, when people throw like certain accusations at this dude and attack him in social media, and he responds in social media, and they're like, oh well, this is unbecoming of a president. But you forget, like Ronald Reagan, he was an actor. This dude may not have been a famous actor, but he was somebody in social media that knew exactly how to bring people to his channel, knew exactly how to get people to watch his TV show. Everybody knew him for the trademark of "you're fired." Trump is not. You know what I mean? And it's not to champion this guy because, I see a lot different than what Trump sees. But I also see the fact that when you attack a man, especially the president of the United States, see, a lot of people created this monster. And some of the same people that said, screw Obama and screw this and screw the socialist movement are now the same ones saying screw Trump because they wanted something entirely different than what they got. See, now the people that are more real nationalists, the real extreme nationalists, that this is right up their alley because he continues to champion their cause. And a lot of people say, well, he knows exactly what he's doing, or he may not know what he's doing, but he knows what he's doing. He knows that by putting out certain tweets, he's going to get certain response, and people are going to see other people attacking him, and then it's going to come down to the right and the left, or you're extreme left, so that's why, you're a snowflake, that's why you're attacking Trump. And for the most part, Democrats used to be argumentative, but they also used to be able to sit down and have these conversations. But I don't even think it's the left, it's the socialist movement, that the one that are really out there in the street, like the Antifa and other groups, that's really pushing a different agenda. And to be honest, I don't think the socialist movement will ever take any type of real, not stance, but they won't gain any type of real foundation because United States have never really pushed a socialist agenda. It's either been this or it's been that. So but the thing about Trump, the reason I say, like, with immigration, how it strengthens his it strengthens what he's saying, like as far as like this caravan. How they had that, I think the boy and the little girl that had died, some people said that it was her own people that were victimizing their own, which only strengthens Trump's argument not to allow them in the country. And then you had them say that some of the agents that watched over them really wasn't paying attention. They were allowing them to run rampant. And whether they did that or not, it still strengthens his resolve. It still strengthens the American people's resolve, and not necessarily everybody, but just the ones that are like either nationalists or just have some type of way about it. See, at one time, people were allowed to disassociate and associate. It's like I should not be forced to identify or associate with people that I just don't want to. We've always been allowed that, but now it's like if you say anything that might be construed as hate, which necessarily not even hate, it's just like, okay, well, I don't agree with this policy. Well, now you're a hate monger, so people slander you in the news and say all types of things, and that only strengthens this guy's resolve. Yeah, I understand a lot of people don't like this dude. Me personally, I can't stand most of his views, but I also know that he's playing the media. He knows just some of the outlandish things that he's did, such as, blocking the media from the White House and doing all this other stuff, and saying certain things, and bridging gaps with Korea, and just like, it's a lot of things that this guy does, but he knows how to play the media. You forget that this dude was an actor. I'll say that again. He was an actor. But the type of stuff that's going on in the caravan right now he's talking about there's another caravan forming in Honduras that's soon to be doing the same exact thing. So my thing is like this. He's gonna, even if he builds the wall, now they want the California I think it's the California Relief Fund or whatever, and there's a few other things that he's saying is going to pay for this wall. At the end of the day, there's no full proof on exactly whether the wall will function or not. They've already shown in throughout the months that it can be cut through when it was supposed to be impenetrable. At the end of the day, when people are up in arms about this dude, the wall will stop nothing. People will continue to come through because it's in the best interest of the United States. Not and let me just say something like this. And not necessarily like that's the backbone of the workforce, because to be honest, when people make that argument and say, oh, well, the immigrants are taking all jobs, it was proven in Georgia that these guys, they do what they do. They work hard. Some, might not be that good. You know what I mean? And some of us ain't that good. But the worth ethic of a lot of these guys are on point. In Georgia was proven, like when they wanted to oust anybody that was a legal immigrant, they rushed them off. They couldn't pick nothing, and the farmers were hurting. And a lot of people like, oh, well, we can fill the shoes. So they put black workers. You forget a lot of blacks don't have that same work ethic anymore, like our forefathers and those who came before us did. You know what I mean? A lot of us are self-entitled, where we feel like we shouldn't have to do work like that. This is below us, and it's been proven. So what happened? The farms start hurting. Little by little, they start letting immigrants back into the fields. Like, they really didn't cover it so much because it's money. They need these guys to get that money to be able to go out there and work the fields, because nobody's working the field like them. No other race is willing to put in that type of work or participate in certain jobs like that. And the ones that said, oh, well, you're taking American jobs, it was proven right there. No Americans wanted that job. So that argument was voided, and they're still trickling into Georgia, and nobody's saying nothing about it because they know that it's a part of the workforce. What I wanted to say is for the people that say that all immigrants are taking jobs, which is bullshit, because if you do the census, the average immigrant only makes up 15% of the workforce in the United States. 15%, you know what I mean? Just take 15 away from 100%, you know what I mean? Or whatever math equation or quote, whatever way you want to term it. They make up 15%. That's it. For the average immigrant family, has no papers, but they're still paying taxes to this country. So in retrospect, they're paying their dues like any other, they're paying their dues. See, but here's the reason when I ask people outside of the box, what do they think about it? I've had Latinos, Hispanics, Mexicanos, whatever you want to call yourself, say that they didn't want paisas coming over here. Some had a mentality that paisas are dirty, and maybe because it's a couple that they ran into, they see things on that page, which is funny because a lot of them have immigrant parents, but are immigrant grandparents, but it's just they've been Americanized and they see things a certain way. I've heard the same from blacks. I've heard the same from whites that they should be to come over here legally and not be sneaking and digging tunnels and whatever way they wanted to describe it. And since I'm asking that question, I can't get frustrated. I just got to hear them out, and then when I come to my channel, state what they said without trying to offend anybody, which is one of those. The United States is one of those right now, real sensitive. Everybody's sensitive. Everybody feels like they're over entitled, and they're not getting their due. You're not getting what they deserve. A lot of self-entitlement in this country now, especially with the generation that's coming up now. You know what I mean? Whether you want to call them snowflakes, call them whatever you want. It's the self-entitlement is there. People don't want to do what they got to do to get where they got to go. But So when I asked these people, it was the same thing. Not everybody, I'll tell you the other half, but for the most part, they just didn't want immigrants over here because they were believing this rhetoric that these people put in social media as far as like rapists and all that. Like to take 5 people out of the bunch and one's a rapist, and you make all the rapists just because they're all the same race. Sorry about that, but that's what I'm talking about. Hate mongers. Hate mongers drive this forward. A lot of people champion Trump because he's shooting it from the hip. He says dumb shit, but he's shooting it from the hip and people are falling behind it. As long as it pushes their agenda, as long as he pushes their agenda, they're fine with it. But like I said, a lot of people created this monster. A lot of people that wouldn't back Obama now don't want to back Trump, and now they're falling in line to impeach this guy. You want to spend $40 million to impeach Trump when just let his term go out, and then somebody in the primary face him or whatever, and beat him outright. But to try to put $40 million up to knock this guy out of office, knowing that there's people on the street right now starving, hungry, and got no place to stay. It's raining and snowing. People are living on the street, living and dying every day. You got all types of problems in this country, and you want to put 40 million up to impeach a guy. When you impeach somebody, it's hard. And it's a slippery slope. You got people already want to go against the Constitution. You want people to implement certain things in the Constitution and take certain things out. I know I'm all over the place, but basically this video was about why people are championing this immigration thing. And I just laugh at it because at the end of the day, you will never be able to stop people from coming over. People will bleed in from all over the place because this is a country of opportunities. You know what I mean? And like I said, 15% of them of immigrants make up of the workforce, and they still pay taxes, but yet they can't get certain, and the government makes them pay certain taxes, but they can't get no license. They can't get. It's a lot of things that go into it, but basically, the more you attack Trump, the more you champion his cause. It's so hard to oust the president of the United States. It is hard as hell. He got to literally do some horrific stuff in order to get impeached. Like, it's just, a lot of stuff that they're throwing out there, unless you can prove it, it's like, it's fumo. You know what I mean? It's nothing. It's going to go in one ear and not the other. People will continue to attack him. Socialist movement will continue to move in a certain direction, but will always get blocked because this is not a socialist country. You know what I mean? And that's not to talk politics. That's just to talk straight out. But what I mean by, some people said about immigration, and other people believe that people should be able to walk through freely. No vetting system, no nothing. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. In this country, it's a lot of mixed emotions. You got Mexicanos that don't want Mexicanos over here, that considered, you know what I mean? And then all the stuff that's going down in Mexico, with people's head getting cut off and all that. So it's like one sees a cholo as trash, and then the other one sees these fools as savages. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's always going to be a mixed emotions on that. All I say is, like, to the people that really participate in politics, the way you attack people will only justify the end game of the other. So this guy, all you're doing is giving him more media attention. He's already the president of the United States, and what you say and do about him is only furthering his cause. The more you attack him, the more you do this and try to undermine the system, he will continue to do what he's doing right now, which is rallying a vast amount of the United States. See, I'm just gonna cut it on that. I'm just gonna tell you like this: people should have the right to disassociate. People should have the right to associate. It's like, if I see a person, I may not like him at first, but after a time, I might come to like him because there's certain qualities about this individual or these people that appeal to me. You know what I mean? I see the goodness in them, so I choose to associate with them. That's what's the problem in this country. You're not allowed to disassociate. If you say anything about, you may not be with the gay movement, but if you say something about it, you're slander, you're ostracized in the media, you're ostracized by certain people. But a lot of it, sometimes you just never had a chance to sit down with these people and really pick their brain and see that a lot of them are cool. And so you formulate your own opinion, but it's just through time and trial and error that you actually able to get by that. The same with immigration. There's a lot of people in this country that feel that you shouldn't you shouldn't be able to take the easy route into this country, that the system should be vetted. But ask the people that's been waiting 20 years to be able to say that they're United States citizens, and then you can have that argument. But on both sides, it's going to be hot. It's going to be a hotbed issue. But I think people just really need to just, lay off the bashing and take that 40 million that you're using to try to impeach the president. You don't have to like him. We all have our opinions on this guy, but at the end of the day, it's like, take that 40 million, put it into some of these structures that that help the homeless and help people get off drugs and worry about the youth instead of worrying about one guy that really ain't doing too much. It's more talking than anything. You know what I mean? That if the wall is built, so what? People are gonna cut through it, dig under, go over it. And then, whatever system they use to vet it, that's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, your boy's all over the place, but it's basically revolving around that 1-3 immigration and the fact that attacking Trump will do nothing for nobody but champion his cause and make his supporters feel like he's being bullied. Some people have flocked to his cause just because they feel like he's being bullied. A lot of you didn't think he would make it to be president, and now you're wrong, and now... You know what I mean? But be careful on what side you choose on these politics, because it does trickle down to the rest of the regular individuals like us, you know what I mean, that really our voice is limited. But on that note, I'm your boy Zod. I know this is about politics. I'm about to go back to gaming because I've been gaming all week. But you guys enjoy the rest of your night. My name is Zod. And if you want my hats, hit me up at Zod. That's it on IG. And just don't say it. Just, really buy them. And on that note, I'm out. Late.